Hi, I was looking at the results this afternoon, and in race 2 it reminded me of a system that I used when I was much younger. I was in London, and I used to work opposite a betting office in the 60s now. And my boss was a photographer, and I was working as an assistant photographer, and he was keen on betting, and he used to send me across the road to put his bets on. And while I was there, I got very intrigued with watching the betting, especially on horses that were heavily backed and they weren't in the morning papers. Then I noticed that very often these horses that were backed from nowhere, come right the way down in price, they'd win. And I used to put my sixpence on there, and I used to be very good. That probably got me really interested in horse racing over the bigger picture. Now, very many years later, when I come to South Africa, I see that the same principle was still working here, and it was called, well, I called it, the Springer system. There's a horse that springs into the betting. Now, there are ways you can take advantage of this which are not basically known or used by the public. Now, in race 2 today, we have a typical Springer. Now, the way to find out a Springer is to look at the odds I use initially in the computer form and compare them to the actual odds that are being offered on the race not long before the off. And what do we have here when we compare the two? We have number 4, Lordy Miss Claudie, which opened at 12 to 1 this morning, drifted out to 15 to 1, and was backed right the way down to 6 to 1. Now that is a definite Springer, because if you look at the morning, or you look at the computer form, you'll also see that it was forecast betting was 14 to 1, may need the race. So Lordy Miss Claudie won at 6 to 1. I will now show you what could have happened had you used a different method of betting on that, or structuring your bet. This is the result. We see that number 4, Claudie Miss Claudie, actually won at paying £6.60. Now the interesting one here is the exacta, because the exacta paid £51.80. Now what I'm suggesting, that when you see a Springer like this, take the Springer, instead of putting £100 to win on the Springer on the nose, split it up into 5 other bets, 5 exactas, and put your horse to win with 5 of the next in the betting. It so happens this particular race there are only 6 horses anyway, so you would have had number 4 with 1, 4 with 2, 4 with 3, 4 with 5, and 4 with 6 as an exacta. A £20 a shot, which is the same £100 that you have put on for a win bet. So you've got two little gambling here. That one is going to win, which you would have in both cases, but secondly, that the dividend for the exacta is going to pay more than a win bet. So this time, 660 would have been £100 to win, and £51.80, you would have had that 20 times. Okay, just my little tip for you to look at, because it's a fun bet and it's a way of increasing your earnings from the same bet. Okay, chat again. Bye.